Dear friends, hello. Thank you very much for your feedback. We traded and worked very well, according to the forecasts. Thank you for sharing your results. Finally, we finished this week. It was not an easy week, but we made a profit. Now for beginners or for those who have been trading for a long time, I'll show you how we work. We go to the platform and select the candlestick chart type here. Next, we select the M1 time frame. That's it. Trade amount. I have $100 to start with. The trade duration is always 3 minutes. Let's go. What is the action algorithm? We need to open a forecast either up or down. How do we do that? First, we choose a currency pair. Any currency pair where the percentage is above 70. If it's below 70, I don't consider those currency pairs. And then we go to our bot on Telegram. Send me a private message. The link to my private messages will be in the description. I'll add this bot for you. The bot is free. I have selected the M1 time frame. On the bot, I wait for the picture. I wait for a screenshot from the bot, something like this, but it won't give it. And on this screenshot, there will be a forecast showing where the chart will go, either up or down. We will open our forecast with you. In other words, roughly speaking, the forecast, copy it. 3 minutes, $100 up, let's go. Currency pair, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I opened a 3-minute trade for an increase. Let's go to the bot and see what it shows here. The first indicator is the future movement of the chart. Up, a correction, then we will have growth, an upward movement. So this is a signal to go up. Excellent. The first signal it gives is an upward signal. The second signal, I look at the percentage ratio. The majority is green, which means an upward movement. The minority shows that some indicators predict a downward movement. We follow the majority here. There are 2 indicators. The market is currently positioned for an upward movement, but what else do I do here? I proactively take decisive action and observe. If we have an uptrend, we carefully identify and mark the support level at each minimum at every stop. Resistance can also be marked. We understand that now, as the chart successfully breaks through and overcomes this horizontal level, it will move toward the upper level. As it was in the previous case, the minimum was fixed at the upper level, then there was a pullback to the upper level, another pullback, and so on. This is how the chart moves for us, meaning we understand that we have entered according to the trend. We understand that there is still some distance to the level from which, in theory, a pullback will occur, from the point where we made our forecast to the upper level. Let's keep monitoring the market. It might be challenging. What does this mean? This is the news tab. In 13 minutes, there will be news about the dollar, and here's how news usually affects our trading session. For example, we predicted an upward movement, but because of this news, I'll explain in simple terms. As always, the chart might make a correction. We opened the trade expecting it to close in profit in 3 minutes. If our forecast is correct, then in 3 minutes, the chart should close above the point where we made our prediction. But because of volatility, because of the news, sometimes there is a correction for 3 or even 4 minutes, and only then does the growth happen. It happens. That's how news interferes with trading. For example, right now there is an upward movement. I understand that it should go up, but this correction is moving in the opposite direction. That's normal, it happens. There are days like this. I recommend that you don't change your trading strategy, just try to trade as little as possible on such tough days. You did everything right, everything was done correctly. The trend was up, the bot showed up, the volumes were up, we checked all the indicators. But this happens, that's just the reality of the market. If you don't know, if you think it will always be smooth sailing, that trades will always go into profit easily. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Sometimes there's a correction, and here's how I deal with it. 3 seconds left. Let's see now, it's not closing, so we're earning $88 in profit. This is how I deal with it. First of all, a large deposit, and secondly, the minimum trade amount per deposit. I also recommend putting your funds into a safe. Go in, there's a broker safe there, and you get paid for keeping your money there. It pays you interest on your money, which is really cool. Every day you can even interact with it, and you get interest credited to you. And if, for example, my trade doesn't go through, I multiply the trade amount by 2.5 and switch to a different currency pair. This way, I recover the losses from the first trade and also try to make a profit on top of that. For the next currency pair, you see that the payout percentage is over 80 or 70% US dollar. Swiss franc, time frame M1. I'm going to select it, and now we wait to see exactly what kind of amount the bot gives us for the trade. And I make sure to manually switch over to the US dollar, Swiss franc. I need both of these specific signals to be aligned and pointing in the exact same direction, whether they are both moving upward or both moving downward. We watch live streams, I do them as well, and also subscribe to our Telegram channel. What do we have here? We have the future movement of the chart. It goes up a little, and then there's a drop. This icon shows that the market is going to be volatile now, with a lot of news. A total of 29% showed an increase, while 71% showed a decrease. So here we have two indicators that the chart will go down, but only after this correction. We wait for the correction and then open a position downwards. I'm looking at the future, the movement of the chart. Sometimes it predicts almost exactly an upward movement and then a decline. Here is the signal to go down. And the second signal to go down is right here. This is the first thing we saw here. The second point. If we switch over to the broker's view, we can see a clear global downtrend. We decided to enter downwards following that specific trend. Plus, there is also a significant resistance level right here. With strong movement, and as the chart approaches the level, it breaks through it. Correction. I expect further downward movement. So at first, when the chart was above this level, this was, roughly speaking, a support level. After the breakout, it becomes resistance. So let's keep monitoring. There are 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. Let's watch. Let's see how this forecast closes, how this trade ends. 1 minute and 57 seconds left. Let's keep monitoring. So we opened a downward position, but we have news coming up. In 9 minutes, when there are 20 minutes left before the news, I recommend not trading. 30 minutes, don't trade. But here there are 9 minutes left. Of course, right now the market will behave very sharply, with sudden movements up and down, up and down. You see the chart. It shouldn't be jumping like this. Not during our usual trading session. But sometimes this happens. But I try to trade both in a volatile market and in a calm market, so that you can see and compare. If I have force majeure situations with my deposit, I use hedging, I hedge my positions. If that happens now, I'll show you without any problem how we work. And look, if for example we take a loss, I switch to another currency pair, because this currency pair is currently affected by the news in this case. I change the currency pair, and with another currency pair the algorithm works exactly the same way. What's the response? Time frame M1. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I'll add the currency pair that was called. I opened it just in case. But here the movement has already shot upward. Dollar, Swiss franc. Here are also some signs of volatility. Do you know what they are? A significant downward movement. A correction should lead to a downward movement, but when there's high volatility, the correction tends to drag on for a while and only then goes down. Unfortunately, you see, it goes to the middle, right to the midpoint. In principle, from this midpoint you can open a downward position. This is a very solid opportunity, you know. The trading strategy is called beginning, end, middle, low, correction, down from the middle. It's called time balance. There's a video course. We have training on this. 5 seconds left. It closes in profit. As happens during our live streams, many guys write that it's a close call. There are days when it's a close call, and sometimes there are days when it's a sure thing. We end up with a profit. Here, I immediately enter a buy position. This is the currency pair Canadian dollar and Japanese yen. Do you remember it? Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Why up? We have an upward trend. We entered with the trend. The trend is your friend. We set a level based on the lows. We also set a level based on the highs. From the point where we open to the upper level here, there is still room to go. That's the first thing. Second, here is the previous high. And here we have a level. Here it is. And before that there was also a level. There is still room to reach this level. Plus there was a level here as well. Pay attention. 1 pause, 2 pause, 3, 4. First test, second test, third test, fourth touch, breakout. This one might not count as a touch. The fourth touch is the breakout, and after this breakout, the chart continues further. So we have two levels. Here is one level, and here is the second level. Usually, there is an empty space between them. You can see it on the chart. The price moved through without any problems. Whether it was going down or up, it passed through here easily. There really isn't a level here, so from this level, the chart will move to that level. Our charts usually move steadily from one level to another, so we understood that it was possible. I realized that it was possible to go up. I saw that the trend was upward and entered following the upward trend. So we have about half an hour left. Let's keep a close eye on how this trade closes. That is, I'm trying to think for myself, while also trying to see what the bot will suggest for our next move. Let's keep monitoring. Here's another tip. Before every broadcast, before every trading session, I state how much I want to earn, either in profits or in money. For example, $300. I say it out loud. Either we make $300 and finish the trading session, or we get 4 wins and finish the trading session. This is very important because we naturally get tired over time. There is a specific phenomenon in trading that you should know about. You trade, you get 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, and you think to yourself, wow, I'm doing really great. Let's try to earn even more right now. But the reality is that you really need to rest. You need to take a proper break because your mental focus starts to slip away from you. You might start missing things, you might start ignoring something. For example, you have a downtrend and then suddenly your bot gives a signal to go up, but it's better not to enter against the trend. It's better to keep entering in the direction of the trend, which is down. It's better not to go against the trend. But some people, because of fatigue, forget this rule. Believe me, you don't even notice it. Mental activity is the most difficult kind of activity. Or you unloaded a wagon full of sacks. It's the same as if you made 5 trades. In terms of fatigue, it's specifically mental activity. We take $82. Third trade, guys, very good. We're doing well. 3 predictions just in this video. 3 wins. Let's do more. I'll make a prediction. I'll pick a currency pair. Euro. Currency pair Euro USD. I click on start. Currency pair Euro USD. Time frame M1. And the news has already come out. Oh no, there are still 3 minutes left, right? We'll see now if the news has already come out. Lots of news today, an unreal amount. It worked out. Looking at what we have here on the signal. The signal went up and the currency pair euro-dollar went up for 3 full minutes. Let's see what we have here in terms of indicators. The percentage ratio is showing a signal up. Future chart movement is also up, followed by a small correction. From there it goes up very well. So even if there is a correction, I open trade specifically for 3 minutes because such a correction will happen within 3 minutes. Usually the chart has plenty of time to move in the right direction. And as for this specific chart, it is clearly in an uptrend, so we entered with the trend. Plus, right here I have this significant level, and here is another key level, and the chart is currently at the level below. You have knocked many times, waiting for it to finally break through, fully expecting a strong upward movement. But in this market, absolutely anything can happen. You see, because of the news, there are 2 minutes left. News about the dollar. And here we also have the euro-dollar currency pair. That's how it affects things. We opened a trade upwards. There might be a correction. It might only go up after 5 minutes. But on the other hand, it's good that it happened this way. Instead of using $100, I use 2 steps of 2.5 and multiply. There's a very strong reversal here. I don't see any point in following this trade. I'm just switching to a new currency pair. And let's see what I can do with the new currency pair. Let's ask for the same thing. Forecast. Start. British pound. Swiss franc. That happens too. That's normal. But you know, out of 10 trades, 1 or 2 might be like that. And in a volatile market, of course, it happens more often. So if you see that the market isn't letting you make money, just take a little break. Don't change your strategy. Because you could spend 10 years changing your strategy and never settle on a single trading strategy. British pound, Swiss franc. Look, The future movement of the chart is upward, but here the signal is downward. There are contradictions in the signals, contradictions in the forecasts. We don't work like that. It's better not to change your trading strategy, because I had an example like that. A person keeps changing, but the problem isn't in this strategy. The issue is something else entirely. The main point is simply that you end up in a trading session where a lot of news is being released. This makes it hard to make a profit or to close your trades in the plus. Look, let me go through this entire process step by step. We are looking at the British pound and the Australian dollar on the 1 minute time frame. A news release is about to come out, so I will add this currency pair to my favorites. And here is the euro dollar pair. 16 seconds left. We probably won't have time to close, but if this ends up being a profit, I won't open a new trade. So I'll just take these 4 clear profits and that's enough for me. No, here we'll most likely end up with a loss. Yes, I'm locking in a loss. So far I've made 3 forecasts, 3 profitable, 1 unprofitable. The chart will move upward, then decline. The future movement of the chart is upward. Euro, British pound, Australian dollar, there it is. It'll go up a little bit and then we'll follow the trend. Downward, it's going down, down. Everything is going down. Look, I put in $250. If the trade goes through cleanly, we'll make $182 net profit. But from that $182, we'll subtract the $100 that didn't go through. So that's $82 from 2 trades. That's a great profit for us. So the signal says down, and I'll show you more now. Just watch. 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, test, 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 4 touches. I'm expecting a breakout, or you can enter a downward trade following the trend. That's the first reason why it really went down, as confirmation. The second point is the future movement of the chart. Here it showed a correction and then further down. The forecast at 45 is for an upward move, but we don't consider it because that's the minority. The majority, 55, is for a downward move. The main thing for me now is to recover that minus $100 I had. So I'm using insurance, multiplying by 2.5. Always. And my deposit allows me, even in very difficult situations, like here by the way, someone wrote, thank you. It provides opportunities for butterflies, it allows you to make a profit. In other words, when I first started out in trading, I had a minimal trading deposit. I would deposit 5,000, 8,000, 3,000, and I would trade, risking a deposit of 3,000. And I would open a trade for 1,000, so basically I could only take 1 loss. I took out insurance, and that was very little. You can't take such risks. If your deposit is 3,000, you should be trading with 100 rubles per trade. That's a better example. So I saved up 17,000 rubles, made an initial deposit, and then traded with 100 rubles for every single trade. I did this carefully without any risk and gradually raised the bar higher. At first it was 150, then 200, then I went back down again because I was afraid to trade. So the deposit really matters a lot, and it helps. If the market is tough, you can always insure yourself, hedge your risks. When we multiply by 2.5 and look at the payout percentage, making sure it's above 70, we can recover the loss from the first trade and still end up in profit. 35 seconds left. It's tough. You know why else this week is hard? Because you make a prediction. The bot gives a forecast down. Last week the chart would immediately drop, but now it makes a correction first. Only then does it go down. It takes a long time to swing, but it's nerve-wracking. You get anxious, you worry. You want the trade to go through cleanly. Right now, I want this one to be a win. I don't want to switch to another currency pair and take out insurance there. That's it, we've got a win. We earn $182 net, but those $100, here they are, didn't go through. A total of $100. They didn't go through as planned, but we managed to make up for them and even earn more on top of that in the end. So that's exactly how my trading session went, and that's how I traded today. The market is incredibly volatile right now. But set up the bot for yourself, message me privately, and if you want to join the Telegram channel, write to me in private messages. I always include a link to IL and give advance notice that there will be a live broadcast, reports from our live streams, and I make tests for you. Subscribe to the Telegram channel. I'll show you the tests now. For example, I show 2 screenshots and ask where the chart will go. 90%. That is a fantastic result. 57 people guessed correctly, while only 6 did not. And then I will provide a detailed explanation of why it went down or up. That's all, guys. Hugs to everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. I'll quickly edit the video now and upload it for you. Take care of yourselves, trade carefully without risk. And keep in mind, there will definitely be a tough day. It's important to stop in time and to cover your positions in time. That's it. Hugs to all of you, my dears. Stay in touch, everyone. This was Abe with you. Alright, we're working. See you later.